Better late than never. If you don't know, I've been sick, guys. I've got bronchitis, so I pretty much, when I got home, slept all day today, and I'm just now waking up. I was going to do a video on Glovegate 3.0, but I didn't see the need to do it because Mauricio Suleiman, he came out and pretty much killed it all. He said that he saw the gloves. He saw them wrap their hands. He seen the gloves when they took them off. It was given to the commission. At least 3 people inspected it. So all this BS Glovegate stuff should have been put to rest off his comments alone. With that being said, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give it a thumbs down. If you really like the video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because that is what helps me out the most. Also, when you sub, don't forget, hit that notification bell. That way you can get updated when I drop the newest content like this. So, with that being said, let's get into this. Ryan Garcia, he wants his next opponent to be Tank Davis. That's what he wants. That's who he wants. Now, I look at it like this. I don't know how possible this fight is, but if it is possible, it could be right now at its most possible because Leo Santa Cruz will not go up. He will not go up in weight. He is going to force Tank Davis to come down in weight if they fight. And I don't think Tank Davis can make weight. So I think that fight with Leo is pretty much off the table. Like, Leo talked a good game. He looked like he was actually going to do something. But once again, he's not going to try to step up in competition. Tank Davis, hold on, y'all. I'm about to cheese. Woo! Should I keep it? Should I delete it? Oh, we gonna keep the video and we gonna keep it rolling. So anyways, somebody must be talking about me. We got Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, as I was saying, and Leo will not go up. He's not willing to step up. And we know with Ryan, Linares is already signed to fight. So both guys, in my opinion, are without a fight. I don't think Tank Davis is even going to entertain going down to 130. I don't even see how he could make weight because he barely makes weight where he's at. And the Ryan Garcia Tank Davis fight, I think, is a very, very, very good fight. Both guys have very similar resumes as far as competition level goes. Both guys only have 20-something fights, with Tank having 23, Ryan having 20. The difference here is Tank has 22 knockouts out of his 23 wins, and Ryan's only got 17 knockouts out of his 20 wins. So they're very comparable in knockouts as well. Now, the biggest thing that you got to look at is Ryan is tall, extremely tall for his weight class as a lightweight at 5'10", whereas Tank Davis is around, I would say, average to a little bit lower than average height for his weight class, also light, and that's 5'5.5". So you got the short guy versus the tall guy in this one, and I think it's a good fight for both guys. You know, I know a lot of people talk about Devin Haney being the next guy, and I'm not going to bash on Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney's got a lot of potential. I don't really think Devin Haney's been in there with the hardest competition at all. And, you know, it's a shitty way he got the WBC belt, but you can't hold that against him. That's more Bob Arum, Lomachenko. You know, Devin Haney did what he had to do to get mandatory, and it's not his fault that the belt was vacated. You can't hold that against him. So I look at it like this. When I look at the resumes, I feel like Fonseca is a better win on Ryan Garcia's record than any win on Devin Haney's record. So I think the winner out of these two guys, if they fight, would be very well matched to go against Devin Haney. I think this could be a tournament of the young guys. And I would like to see it. I would like to see Ryan versus Tank. I think it makes sense. It makes a hell of a lot more sense than Leo Santa Cruz. And it makes a hell of a lot of sense, more sense that Ryan fighting some Uber driver that Oscar De La Hoya wants him to fight for $200,000. You know, this is the thing. A lot of people got upset whenever Ryan turned down a fight for $200,000. But I look at this in two ways. One, how are you going to be mad at him for turning down $200,000 to fight a bum when the guy obviously wants to fight higher quality competition? That's what I don't understand. Like, everybody gets so mad at these fighters not fighting the best, but when you get a fighter who turns down money to fight a bum, to try to fight somebody harder, everybody gets upset at the kid. So I don't get it. I like Ryan Garcia. I think he's got a lot of potential, but I also like Tank Davis. As much shit as people talk about Tank Davis, if Tank Davis came in dedicated, came in watching his weight, quit drinking as much, quit partying as much, quit doing everything that he does in the outside world, whether it's, manhandling his baby mama. I know that got really blown out of proportion where they said he hit her. The video I saw, I didn't see any punches thrown. I just seen him yoke her up and take her out, which I'm not saying is right, but I didn't see him physically beat on her. I just seen him yoke her up. I could be wrong. And I know Tank beat up some dude at the ATM as well, which is crazy. You're a professional athlete. You fighting some nobody. So now you're going to lose a lot of money getting sued. Doesn't make no sense. Me, myself, personally, I've contemplated. If a professional boxer ran up on me, would I fight back? The fighter in me says, yeah, I'm going to try to dust this dude. But the logical part in me just says, nah, I'm going to take that first hit, lay on the ground, and just act like I'm hurt a lot worse than I am so I can get that money on the back end. I don't know which I would do. Probably fight back because I got too much pride. But there is that part of me that's like, nah, I get paid. But anyways, so it's dumb to fight people, random people in the street for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. Like, you're a professional. You're a world titleist, ex-world titleist. You ain't got nothing to prove to no average Joe like this dumb. And what's going to end up happening is, and this is what people don't understand too, I don't know why I said former world titleist. He is a world titleist, but the thing about it is, because I think Gamboa, he got a belt. Wasn't a vacated belt that he got? I can't remember. I think it was for the WBA. Yeah, y'all, I'm going to say right now, I'm going to go out on a whim and just say the WBA belt, I believe, is what he won against Gamboa. But it doesn't matter. Regardless, you're going to do what Adrian Broner did. You're going to run up on the wrong one who isn't going to adhere to no weight class, and you're going to get drugged from one end of the place to the other like he did in the strip club against some local rapper. Because in reality, Tank is just a 5'5.5", 130-pound guy. Maybe 150 pounds at his biggest in the off seasons. What I mean by that is outside of camp, outside of fights. At 5'5.5", 150, people aren't going to sit there and box with you, especially a bigger guy. A bigger guy just going to bear hug you and put you on the ground UFC style because 90% of fights end up on the ground anyways. So with that being said, it's stupid to fight people in the streets. You got too much to lose. Just imagine, though, even if you beat up some guy, let's say Tank runs up on a guy who's AJ's size, right? And even if he beats him, he risks getting permanently hurt to where he can't fight. If you can't fight, you can't make a living. If you can't make a living, then you just blew your whole career. Now what are you going to do? What do you have to fall back on? See what I'm saying? It's dumb. Dumb. But again, I think that this is a good fight. I would favor Tank Davis only because I do like Tank. Whenever I look at Tank, I know he's had he doesn't fight nobody. He's only had one real fight. Only one real fight, and he hasn't even fought anybody since then. And the thing about Tank is this. When I look at Tank, I see a lot of skill. I see a lot of speed, and I see a lot of power. Now, people could be like, oh, he didn't have a lot of power against Gamboa. Well, Gamboa's a very good fighter, a very durable fighter. He's not as good as he once was, but he only had, 1 or 2 losses? I think 2 losses when he fought Tank out of 30 wins or something like that. So even though Gamboa had his up and downs, he's still a very good fighter. So I don't understand where not looking the best against Gamboa is a bad thing. I understand Gamboa only had 1 leg. He had a minor rupture in his Achilles tendon, according to the documents that he put out, so he wasn't as mobile. But, he did get a TKO put on him eventually. So, it is what it is. But back to the point. I would favor Tank as long as Tank does what he needs to do, trains the way he needs to train, lives the way that he needs to live. And that's a big if. Because in my opinion, looking at Ryan Garcia, people can disagree with me because they don't like him. He's an Instagram model, which like that doesn't mean shit. You know what I mean? Like the ugly motherfuckers, the ones that look scary, the ones with the scars all over them and all of that, them ain't the ones that you got to be scared of. It's the pretty ones, the ones that never get hurt that you need to be scared of. People got this idea to where you got to look like some biker gang person and that's intimidating. Nah, that's not intimidating at all. Looks don't mean nothing. So you could be the ugliest dude and look scary, but that don't mean you have hands. You could be the prettiest dude and look soft, but that doesn't mean you don't have hands. You could be deadly. So I don't understand why. I've never understood why people get so caught up in looks and fighting because it doesn't mean anything. Hell, Andrew Ruiz looked like the little boy from Up grown up. And he beat the brakes off of AJ in the first fight. If you went by looks, you would have never thought that. Looks don't mean anything. So again, I think Ryan Garcia is a very good fighter, especially whenever I saw him fighting Fonseca, how he set up that hook, how he was timing him, barely caught him, baited him in, and then clipped him and put him away. Put him away than anybody's done. The best put away. So, again, I think this makes for a very interesting fight because Tank Davis is going to have to get close to Ryan. Ryan is very adaptive from what I have seen. Will he be able to adjust to Tank Davis? Now, Ryan Garcia likes to pride himself on speed. Whenever people see him doing his little, body punch challenge, him throwing punches and all that, it's speed that a lot of people get caught on. But they forget how fast Tank Davis is. See, Tank Davis is like a little miniature Mike Tyson. It's not just his power that he has, it's the speed that he can get in and out with. And the problem is, again, I'll bring up Gamboa. It took him, 2-3 times to make weight? So you already know that he had to pull off on a substantial amount of weight, which whenever you weight drain your body, you don't react the same. You lose speed, you lose strength, you lose endurance because your body's shocked. You've done taken it lower than it naturally wants to be. So if you do that, you can look bad. But a Tank comes in top peak condition, he is fast. He is real fast. And he hits really hard. I believe on ESPN, and the punching machines are very inaccurate, but I think he hit like 968 PSI. So pounds per square inch, if you don't know. So you got to take that for what it is. I think Deontay Wilder hit the same, but it was with his left hand, or they hit pretty close. I think Tank just barely edged him out. So, those aren't extremely accurate, but when you see other fighters hitting it and they're only hitting around 800, 700, then that can give you a good gauge of how hard these guys are hitting by just seeing what the other one score versus another one. And he scored very high on there. So the power is there. The speed is definitely there, and he's very good at moving. He's very good at getting in, and that's why I think when you've got a short guy going against a tall guy, how good can the tall guy react to when he cannot keep the short man at bay? When the short man gets glued to his chest, what can he do? And that's what I want to see from Ryan Garcia. I think right now this is the best match for him. As far as Tank Davis goes, is this the best match for Tank Davis? No, it is not. There's much harder fights out there for Tank. There is much better fights out there for Tank. Tank shouldn't even be looking at a Ryan Garcia from his viewpoint or vantage point, if you want to say. He should be looking at bigger names, but I know they've been going back and forth on Twitter. So let him do it. Let's get it set up, Floyd. The biggest issue here I see is there's no gate. Tank gets paid a lot, and Ryan turned down $200,000. So with this mega style fight, would one of them be willing not to get paid as much? And by willing, I mean Ryan Garcia. Would he be willing to take a pay cut to step up in competition? I don't know. I really don't know. But one thing I did want to say that I just happened to I almost said mention. One thing I just happened to see in my peripheral is on my screen. Look here. Look at Ryan Garcia's gloves. Look at this dent in his glove. Look at this dent coming up the glove. Uh-oh. Glove gate 4.0. Ryan Garcia right here. Because gloves don't get dents in them. They don't have creases. Oh, this is so stupid. Look, Tank Davis did the same to the back of his glove so he could backhand people because it's not poofy. I listen to Ego. I don't even like calling out of the channels, but I had a guy named Watcher come to my channel, and this is going to be the last thing I ran on before I end this video. So if you made it to the end, my bad for ranting. But I watched this dude Ego's channel. I've never really watched him before. I know who he is. I've probably seen one or two of his videos a long time ago, years ago. But I went there because the guy was talking about glove gate, and supposedly he's the one that came up with the Photoshop pictures, right? So I went there, and he was talking about, you know, gloves don't form like Play-Doh. They don't go like Play-Doh. They don't go down and mold down. They're not memory foam, right? So pretty much also what he said was, they're supposed to be poofy gloves. So what we went from was flappy glove to poofy glove. Those are the scandals. It was flappy, 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 flappy. Now it's now it doesn't go poofy, poofy, poofy. Like, come on, bruh. This is so stupid. First off, let me say this. And I was going to do a lot on this, but like I said, I was sick, fell asleep, didn't wake up till now. If you remove stuffing from the gloves, right? Whether it's horsehair or foam, all right? If you remove that, whenever you beat that foam down, it's not going to poof back up. It's not magically going to teleport from wherever you moved it to get it back. So in other words, what I mean by that is, if at any point in that fight, the glove was deflated, it's not going to reinflate. They're not going to be in the corner with a basketball pump pumping up the fucking glove. It's just not going to happen. It's going to stay deflated. So at the very end of the fight, it's going to be just as smushed in as it was at the beginning of the fight, because that's not how it works. You're not going to knock that foam down so much that it doesn't reform. Because if it doesn't reform, then it's missing. And if it's missing, it's gone. See, foam automatically rises. And I don't think anybody's ever seen the inside of a glove, what it's actually built like. It's only about, what, an inch and a half thick of foam. And that's on bigger gloves. So on like a 10-ounce glove, you're looking at even less. I would have to go get my professional gloves and look at them to see actually how much foam is in there. But it's like, think about a mattress topper, okay? And then you just fold it in the shape of a glove. That's what the foam looks like underneath the leather of the glove. That's how it's formed. It's almost like a little cushion, a thick cushion that goes, you know, pretty much to the front of your fingertips, like pretty much where your nails starts, all the way back to your wrist. So that's all it is. So if you were to move that and it didn't reform, because foam, when you push it in, even memory foam, when you push it in, and this is where he was so dumb, talking about, oh, it doesn't bounce back like memory foam. First off, memory foam goes back slowly. That's why it's called memory foam, because when you lay in it, it takes the form of your body and it doesn't press back out. So once it sinks in, it wants to stay synced in, and then it slowly rises. So if anything, his gloves would have been acting more like memory foam if they stayed down and slowly came back up, versus another type of foam that just bounces right back into place. But that's what foam does. Foam wants to, once you press it down, it wants to naturally rise back up. It's not going to stay down. So what I mean by that is, if it's staying down for more than just a few seconds, then that's where it's going to stay permanently by the physics of foam. So therefore, if his glove is shaped like a fucking crescent moon, like a jelly bean, it's never going to come back from that shape. It's already rose as high as it's going to rise, and it's stuck there. And you would have seen a deflated glove from the beginning of whenever it started to the end of the fight. And when he held his hands up, they would have stayed deflated. When he would have taken them off, they would have looked deflated then. Period. They're not going to reform if they unform and stay unformed. But that's enough ranting. My bad, guys. I kind of jumped topic just seeing Ryan Garcia's glove in this picture that y'all are looking at. But to close out the video, I think this is a very good fight for Ryan Garcia. I think for Tank Davis, it could be a very challenging fight. I think on Tank's side, it's a high-risk, low-reward fight. But I think it would really challenge him. And we will find out how good both these guys are. My money would be on Tank if Tank came in shape. What I've always said is the only person that can beat Tank is Davis. That's it. Only Tank can beat Davis. What does that mean? Tank is Davis. That means he's the only one that can beat himself. That's what I see. I think, judging from how I look at Tank Davis, I think he is so good, skilled, just natural attributes, everything that he has. I think he's good enough where I can say right now, from what I see around him, the only person that can beat him is him. But I believe if a Tank Davis comes in at 100%, I don't think Ryan Garcia stands a chance. I don't think Devin Haney stands a chance. The only person I think that can beat him is Lomachenko. But even then, it's going to be a fight. I see Loma and Tank really going to war because I think Tank is very fast, and I think he's fast enough to stay on top of Loma. Now, can he move around the ring as good as Loma? I do not know. That's yet to be seen. There's a possibility Loma could just use angles on him and step around him and just stop him in his tracks because he can't never get the right angle to throw a punch on him. But I think as far as foot speed goes, hand speed goes, Tank is right there with him. If not, maybe a little bit faster in the forward movement, where I think Loma would have him in the lateral movement. But if you're going from A to B, I think Tank's got him. Side to side, then I would give it to Lomachenko. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I think it makes for a very good fight. Let me know what y'all think. I've ranted for a very long time now. I'm on these meds, so it helps me rant when I get into tangents. And again, if you made it to the very end and you like this video, please give it a thumbs up.